Welcome to everyone. So today in this video we will discuss about the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte and the two most important battles that was associated with the Napoleon Bonaparte, which is known as the Battle of Leipzig and the Battle of Waterloo. But before the discussion of these battles, we need to understand that who is the Napoleon Bonaparte and how he rises. So first, Napoleon was born in 1769 on the Mediterranean island of Corsica, and Corsica was a part of Italy before mergence with the France. Napoleon Bonaparte rose rapidly through the ranks of France's military, and he proved himself a talented and the daring leader. After seizing the political power in France in 1799, he was given the title of a first consul. Consul means the consultation of France, and he became France's leading political figure. In 1804, he crowned himself the Emperor of France in a lavish ceremony. Under the Napoleon, France engaged in a successful series of battles against the various coalition forces of European nations. And the French Empire expanded across much of Western and Central Europe. But in 1812, he did like a disaster invasion of Russia. Napoleon led a disaster invasion of Russia because I think he was not aware about the Russian difficult terrain, Russians people, about like that. So at that time, his army was forced to retreat and suffered massive casualty. And at the same time, the Spanish and Portuguese, with assistance from the British, drove Napoleon's forces from the Iberian Peninsula in the Peninsular War 1808 to 1814. Peninsular War was fought between 1808 to 1814, and in the 1813, the most important battle for the Napoleon Bonaparte, that was the Battle of Leipzig, also known as the Battle of Nations, because Napoleon's army was defeated by the coalition forces, which includes the Austrian, Persian, Russian and Swedish troops. Afterward, Napoleon retreated to France, and where in March 1814 coalition forces captured Paris. Now on April 6, 1814, Napoleon, then in his mid-40s, was forced to abdicate the throne. With the Treaty of Fontainebleau, he was exiled to Elba, a Mediterranean island off the coast of Italy. And within the 1 year, on February 26, 1815, Napoleon escaped from the Elba and sailed to the French mainland with a group of more than 1,000 supporters. On March 20, he returned to Paris, and where he was welcomed by the cheering crowds. And the new king, Louis XVIII, fled, and the Napoleon embarked on what came to be known as his 100 Days Campaign. 100 Days Campaign is nothing but marked the period between the Napoleon's return from exile and the second restoration of King XVIII. Now upon Napoleon's return to France, a coalition forces such as Austrians, British, Persian and Russians, who considered the French emperor an enemy, began to prepare for the battle. But before they played for the war, Napoleon raised a new army and planned to strike preemptively, defeating the allied forces one by one before they could launch a united attack against the Napoleon forces. Now in June 1815, Napoleon forces marched into the Belgium, where separate armies of British and the Persian troops were camped. At the Battle of Ligny, which was also an important battle, on June 16th, Napoleon defeated the Persian armies under the command of a Gebhard Leberecht von Blücher. However, the French were unable to totally destroy the Persian army. Now the Battle of Waterloo begins. 2 days later, on June 18th, Napoleon led his army of some 72,000 troops against the 68,000-man British army, which had taken up a position south of Brussels near the village of Waterloo. Waterloo battle was the blow for Napoleon's army. British army, which included the Belgian, Dutch and German troops, was commanded by the Arthur Wellesley, Duke of Wellington, means the ruler of Wellington, who had gained prominence fighting against the French during the Peninsular War. Now Napoleon armies also mounted a strong attack against the British, but the arrival of Persians turned the tide against the French, and the French emperor's outnumbered army retreated in chaos. By some estimate, the French suffered more than 33,000 casualties, including the dead bodies, wounded and the taken prisoners, while British and the Persian casualties numbered more than 22,000. It was very low as compared to the French army, which was suffered more than 33,000 casualties. So ultimately, the Battle of Waterloo marked the end of Napoleon's storied military career, and he reportedly rode away from the battle in tears. Thank you very much.